All right, so this is section 9, greatest common factors and factor by grouping. So this is the beginning of the techniques dealing with factorization. Before we get into that, we're going to briefly go over adding, subtracting of polynomials, multiplication and division of polynomials. And so this is very easy. It's a review, so we're not going to spend too much time on that. But when we add and subtract polynomials, just as problem 9.1 or 9.2, we are doing addition and subtraction only on the like terms. So a like term is variable with the same exponent. So for example, the 6x squared is a like term to 11x squared. The minus 7xy is a like term to 1xy, and the 5y is a like term to minus 8. So when we identify the like terms, we combine their coefficients. As you see here, the 6x squared and the 11x squared become 17x squared. And likewise for the other terms. Same thing with the minus. The only thing with the minus, as problem 9.2 is showing, is that if we have a minus in front of the second parentheses, the signs of every term on the second parentheses change. So the 12x squared y minus 4xy plus 3's will become, here on the second line of the solution, minus 12xy plus 4xy minus 3. And then we combine like terms as before. Okay, so addition and subtraction, very easy. I'll do one problem. Multiplication, like example 9.3. The 5x squared will multiply every single term on the second parentheses, and multiplication takes place in two steps. First, so take a look at problem 9.3 here, second line or third line, the solution. You multiply the 5 and the 6 on the 5x squared times 6x cubed term. You multiply 5 times 6, which is 30, and then x squared times x cubed, which is x to the 5th. So the multiplication happens by applying properties of exponents. Okay, and the same thing happens for the second and third terms. When we have something like 9.4, this is usually what we call foiling. Here on the solution, you see another method, which is the 3x multiply 5x plus 2, and the minus 6 multiplies 5x plus 2. So this is another way of doing it, but we normally call this foiling. And when we have division, similar to 9.6, we will break this division into 3 division problems. So in the first set of parentheses, I have 3 terms. Each of those 3 terms will be divided by 4xy, as you can see here. Okay, so take a look at the second line on the solution. Again, division is very similar to multiplication, where you do the numerical part first, and then you do each of the variable parts next. So take a look at 12x to the 6y cubed divided by 4xy. We divide 12 by 4, which is 3. And then we divide x6 by x, which is x to the 5th. So this is, again, properties of exponents, right? 6 minus 1. And y cubed divided by y, which is y squared. And similarly with the other terms. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction. I'm going to do 3 problems for you to see. And then we're going to go over into the next topic. All right, so here, let's do 9.8. Okay, the addition is very similar to subtraction. The only thing with subtraction is, remember, there's an invisible one here. So this invisible one is multiplying everything there. So in the first parentheses, we just drop the parentheses and rewrite the terms. For the second parentheses with the minus, with the plus, you don't have to do anything. You just drop both parentheses. For the subtraction, because of the minus 1, every single sign in the second parentheses flips. So I'll have positive 7x squared y plus xy minus 11. And at this point, we identify like terms. So this is a like term to that, right? X squared y minus 8xy is a like term to this. 1xy, and the minus 5 minus 11. So we identified the like terms. Now we combine their coefficients. So I have to do minus 2 plus 7, which is 5. And then we just attach the x squared y. For the minus 8 and positive 1, I get minus 7, and then we just attach xy. And then minus 5 minus 11, minus 16. It's very straightforward. We remove the parentheses, apply the minus 1, and then combine like terms. All right, 9.10. This is foiling, okay? We can FOIL, and FOIL works this way. These two multiply, these two, those two, and those two. In multiplication and division, remember that we do multiply the numerical part first and then the variable. And if you don't see an exponent, there's an invisible exponent of 1. So 3x times 7x, 21x squared, right? X times x, we add the two exponents. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3x times minus 2, positive 6 times 7x, and positive 6 times negative 2. Now, at this point, different from problem 9.8, we have to check if there are like terms. We always have to check if there are like terms, and if there are, we have to add them. So the 21x squared is unique. These two are like terms that are underlined. So we combine the minus 6 and the positive 42, which is 36x, and then the minus 12. So the final answer for this one is 21x squared plus 36 minus 12. Okay, when we have division, and I'm only going to do 914, just as before, we have 3 elements in the numerator. We'll break that into 3 separate divisions. So we'll have 8 5y cubed divided by 2xy, positive 6 x cubed y squared divided by 2xy, and the minus 2xy divided by 2xy. So division, very similar to multiplication. You do 2 things. You do the numerical part first, and then you do each of the variables after. So 8 divided by 2, 4. X to the 5th divided by x1 is x to the 4th, right? 5 minus 1. Y cubed divided by y1 is y squared. 6 divided by 2. X cubed divided by x. Y squared divided by y. Minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. And x, these two x's cancel and the two y's cancel. Now, don't leave it this way. Write it as an expression. So write 4x to the 4th y plus 3x squared y minus 1. So this is the answer we want you guys to get. Okay, so this is just the first part of this section 9. So we've covered addition, multiplication, and division.